Hey everyone, John here, and welcome back to the Toy Box. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're having a great day and a great weekend. I'm excited today because I have been waiting a while to make this video. Today we are going to look at the Pokemon Center Paldean Starter Poké Plushes. We have Spriggatito, we have Fuecoco, and we have Quaxley. As a bonus, I also have the Pokemon Center Plush Key Chains for these guys, and we're going to go ahead and look at those too. So, we're going to start off with our grass-type Spriggatito, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright guys, we're starting things off with Spriggatito. I have a few first impressions of it. First, I have a really hard time with its name. It's basically a combination of sprig, which is a small branch or stem, and gatito, which is kitten in Spanish. It's hard for me because my Spanish is not where it should be, but I feel like I should at least be able to pronounce the word correctly in Spanish. So I'm finding myself trying to pronounce an English word and a Spanish word together at the same time, in the same word. And I want to say Spriggatito instead of Spriggatito or something like that. It's a good name though. It's great for a grass-type cat, and I'm looking forward to its evolutions. I don't know what I would like for a middle evolution yet, but I would like to see a final evolution that is a Jaguar. It shouldn't be too green. I mean, this tone of green right here is perfect, and maybe it should have leaf-shaped spots. It would have to be very quick and stealthy with a sleek build, not standing on two legs. We already have Incineroar. And I can see it having the ability to blend into any vegetation that could be a hidden ability. That will be cool to me, but let's see what we end up getting. Anyways, let's take a look at the plush. So first, the plush, I would say it fails the standing test. Yes, it is standing right now, but the reason why is because I had the wall helping it. Now, it's not impossible. If you really try and you sprawl the legs out, you could get the plush to stand up on its own, but this takes effort and it will fall down after a little while. Now, overall for the plush is it's a firmer plush. It's not a medium build like the sitting cuties are. It's a little harder than that. So it's one of the firmer plushes. As far as the colors and the details go, overall, we don't have a game to compare. We don't have a game to compare it with yet. So I'm not really sure about all the details within the game, but with all the pictures that we've been getting so far, it looks pretty accurate, and I do like all the details that are on this plush. Let's take a closer look. So, we can start off with the head. We have the eyes right here, which are embroidered, and I think they look really nice. You can see the different shades here. Here's the other eye. We have the nose that is also embroidered, and we have the mouth right here. We have this patch that goes on the face, and it looks like this is colored on here. So it's not separate pieces, it's just colored. And then we have the whiskers, which stick out to the side. They're their own piece, and they're kind of firm. And then we have the ears up here, which are firm along with the rest of the plush. So we have the lighter part right here, and if you turn it around, you can see at the back of the ears are green. Now moving on to the body. The body is all light green right here. It's not a sitting cutie, it's just a regular Poké Plush, so there aren't any pellets in it. But you can see it from this angle. Let me show you the front patches right here. So we have two layers on here. We have this leaf patch, which looks like it's a dual layer of material right here. And then we have this other patch down here, this darker green, that looks like it's sewn together with dual layers as well. I like this patch a lot more than this one. I used to have a lot of plushes that had this kind, and after a while they tend to spread apart. So this one I think is a little more sturdy. But they're both good. These have improved a lot since the old plushes way back in the day. If we turn it around, you see that there is also a patch in the back right here. And it's the same material as the patch in the front that's lighter green. So there you go. And now we can look at the legs. So the legs are very skinny, and that matches the Pokemon. But I think that's also why the plush has such a hard time standing, because it has a big head, and the head is heavier compared to the rest of the plush, and the legs can't really support that. Again, you can try. If you really try, you can make it happen, but I don't think it will stay like that long term. It'll fall over a lot. My favorite part of the legs down here is that we have the paws. I love the details on this. This is one of the reasons why I like Pokemon Center plushes a lot, because they pay attention to that kind of detail. These are embroidered here, so you can see there's paw pads for every single foot. Here's the last one. And then lastly, we have the tags. So here's the front and the back, and then it opens up and gives you some information in here. And then we have the tail tag right here. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and stand Spriggatito here, and we'll take a look at the keychain. So the keychain is very similar. If we start off, so as a whole, the keychain is actually much softer than the plush. I'd probably say it's about medium, kind of like the Sitting Cuties. So if you want something to compare. The details are also very well done. They're exactly the same, pretty much. There are some differences with the plush itself, but the details are the same. So let's take a look. Starting with the head, we have the embroidered eyes. Here's the other one. We have the embroidered nose. We have the mouth, and we have this patch. Now, one of the differences is now that once we get to the whiskers on the side, these are done with the dual layer material here. So that's one side. Here's the other. And then for the ears, we have the lighter portion of the ears are embroidered on the keychain. So that's also different too. When you turn around, you can see the details from the back. Now moving on to the body, you can look at the patches here. I like that they kept the dark green patch the same way. This is one thing I liked about the other plush, about the Poké Plush. And then we have the other patch right here. And then on the back, we have the other leaf-shaped patch. The tail is a lot softer as well. And it's structured the same way. And I like that we have the paw pads here. The only thing that's odd about mine is that this Spriggatito's paws turned the wrong way. I guess he could be like he's turning his foot, but yeah, that's a little odd that his foot's turning the wrong way. As far as the keychain portion, this is the keychain part. It opens pretty easily. So one of the things I like to do with these, I don't really use them as keychains. I like to use these as ornaments in the Christmas tree, because I like to have a lot of Pokemon on the Christmas tree. So I usually buy the keychains so that I can hang them all on the tree. And that's just how I do it. Lastly, we have the tag. And it's just the same thing as the other one. In the back, you can see it has the plush keychain. And then we have the tag here at the end. Now, one thing I will say is that this plush stands up easier. So this keychain plush actually passes the standing test, whereas the Poké Plush doesn't. But anyways, that was Spriggatito. So let's move on and take a look at our fire starter. Next we have Fuecoco, the fire croc Pokemon. Now, the first thing I thought of when I saw Fuecoco is this Pokemon looks like it loves to eat. Kind of like Greedent. You remember how Greedent was gathering up all these berries and putting them in its tail? It kind of reminds me of that. And then I started laughing when I saw pictures of Fuecoco just looking at food. So I thought, oh, I've got to be right about that. Well, anyways, this Pokemon is a little hard to figure out for me. So I know it's the fire croc Pokemon, but is it really? First, it looks more like a chili or a bell pepper to me, just from the way it's shaped. And I kept thinking, well, that could make sense, but then that would really only function if it needs to hide in a field of giant chilies and attack unsuspecting people and Pokemon looking for peppers to eat. I will say, though, and this just might be the dinosaur fan in me, that this Pokemon gives me a dinosaur vibe, more than anything. Fuecoco looks like it's a dinosaur, not a crocodile. So, just as an example, for its evolution, what I would really like to see is I would like to see it evolve into a Spinosaurus. So for those of you who aren't familiar with dinosaurs, this is the Spinosaurus. So Spinosauruses have a crocodile-like snout. So that would fit the Fire Croc model, and Fuecoco would have a longer snout. And then we have the sail in the back. And this is the reason why I would want it to be a Spinosaurus, because instead of having the sail just like this, it would just be flames shooting up its back all the time. Kind of like Typhlosion. I think that would be awesome. And if I find out that that's the evolution, then I'm definitely choosing Fuecoco. And going back to the chili shape, it could still keep the chili shape because Spinosaurus was kind of like, it's shaped like this. So it would be like a long chili instead of a wider, fatter bell pepper. So I think that would be cool. I think this the final evolution for Fuecoco should be a Spinosaurus. But anyway, let's take a look at the plush. So first, Fuecoco passes the standing test, which means that it can stand on its own without any help from the wall or any other objects. It is a medium firmness. It's softer than Spriggatito, and it's more like the sitting cuties, the typical ones. The details are pretty good. Again, we don't have a game to compare it with yet, so I'm just going off of pictures that I see. And so far it looks pretty good. I like the colors and I like the details. Let's take a closer look at some of those details. So we'll start off in the head. So first, the eyes are embroidered. And then we also have the nostrils right here, which are also embroidered. Now moving on to the mouth, the teeth here are, it looks like stiff pieces of felt. And these are dual layered also. And then we have just the mouth here. And then we have the tongue. These are all separate pieces. So that also goes for this white patch. These are all separate. They're not just colored on. And you can see the stitching right here. So that's the head. And then up here, you have the stem. This is actually what made me think it looks more like a bell pepper or a chili than anything. And that would be cool. I would like that detail to go on to the final evolution too. Now for the body, you can see it from the sides. The body's mostly just red, and we have some patches here and there. So we have a white belly that goes all the way down to the tail, and then we have these yellow patches. This reminds me of Scorbunny, because Scorbunny has these exact same patches on its face and on its feet. So this looks like exactly the same thing. Maybe it goes and then it can light fires. I don't know. And then we have patches in the back also. I don't know how it would light a fire with these. Maybe these later would grow into the back flame that I want the Spinosaurus to have. Who knows? That would be cool. Looking at the arms and legs. So the arms and legs are pretty soft. They're softer than the rest of the plush. One thing that I will point out is that the arms are connected, are sewn on to the plush right here. So don't try to pull them apart. You're going to break your plush. Same thing for the other arm. Then we have the fingers right here. For the legs, we have the legs right here. We have the toes that come out like this. They're a different material as well. Here's the other one. And then on the bottom, we also have some patches. So there's the material in the middle, embroidering on the outside. That's how it is with all the other patches. And lastly, we have the tags. So here's the first tag. You open it up, you get some information, and you have this on the back. And then we have the toe tags. So anyway, that's the Poké Plush. Don't forget, we also have the keychain. So the keychain is very, very similar to the Poké Plush. There are a few differences. So we'll go ahead and go through them real quick. So First, we have, again, the embroidered eyes. We have the embroidered nostrils right here. Everything about the teeth and the mouth are exactly the same. So they're made the same way, as well as the stem up here. Now, the plush also has the same firmness, the medium firmness. The colors and everything look the same, which is good. We start getting to the differences when we get to the patches. So this first patch on the belly is the same. It's the material here in the middle, and it has the embroidering on the edges. On the back, though, these patches are fully embroidered. It's probably just because of the way that it's sewn together. So these are fully embroidered, and the patches on the legs are also fully embroidered. But other than that, they're pretty similar plushes. We need to look at the keychain. So this is the keychain's red. And we have the tag right here. You open it up, you see all the information. And then, of course, we have the toe tag right here. So there we go. That is the Fuecoco Plush Key Chain. And as you can see, it passes a standing test here. So there we go. That was Fuecoco. Now, let's move on and take a look at our water type. Alright guys, last but not least, we have Quaxly. Now, my first impression of Quaxly is that it is a duck wearing a Mario hat. As far as evolutions go, I definitely see it having a larger and more elaborate crest. They do mention this Pokemon does not like to get dirty, so I imagine its evolutions would care about its image. And a larger and shinier crest would show that it is a stronger bird, maybe. It would have to have a larger wingspan for the evolution, and it would have to have all those details and a lot of ornamental feathers to go along with it. At least I would think. Maybe some cool patterns. There are a lot of possibilities with this Pokemon, and I'm interested to see what they come up with. It just has to be as good as the evolutions for a Spriggatito and Fuecoco. But let's see what they come up with. Let's take a look at the plush. So the first thing I will say is that Quaxly fails the standing test. It's not to say that you cannot stand Quaxly up if it needs help. Like, for example, I did it right here. I have the tag helping it. And even by itself, you could get it to stand on its own a little bit, but it's going to need assistance most of the time. So I would say it fails the standing test. The plush is firmer like Spriggatito, so it's it's harder than the typical Sitting Cuties plush. The colors and the details look very good, and I really like the details. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. So first we have the head. So the eyes here are embroidered. You can see the other side here. We have these lines on the edges of its face that are also embroidered. Then we have the beak. The mouth is embroidered here. And then we have the crest, or the Mario cap. So we have this part, we have these feathers coming out here. And then we have this line up here. It looks kind of like maybe a cloud or something that is also embroidered. And we can turn the plush around. You can see this little point in the back. You can see it better this way from the side. And that is the head. So most of this Pokemon is the head. So the rest of the body is smaller in comparison. I think that's why it has such a hard time sitting down or standing up on its own. We have this little puff coming out right here. And this is stuffed. And then we have on the back, you can see the tail. So it has 3 distinct feathers coming up here. So that's pretty cool. Now looking at the wings are a little bit different. They're not symmetric. You have one wing that's spread out like this, and you can see the pattern right here. And then you have another wing that's on its hip. So this one is attached to the plus, so you cannot bring it out. I wasn't sure if both wings are supposed to be like that, but the keychain is the same way, so I'm pretty sure it's expected then. But this is how the other wing looks. It attaches right here at the hip. You can see it right there. And then we have the legs. The legs are very skinny. I like the details they put in here for the webbing. You can see it sewn in right here. And here is the other leg. You can see them from the other end right here. Here they are spread out. And then lastly, we have the tags. So here's the first one. Opens up like this. There's the end. And then here are the toe tags. So anyways, that is the plush. Let's go ahead and take a look at the keychain. So like the others, the keychain is built very similarly to the plush. There's just some minor differences. Here, the eyes, everything is embroidered the way that it was on the plush. We have this detail here embroidered also. We have these feathers coming out. We can turn it around. You see the point coming out from the back of the head. Now, when we get to the crest, though, this is where we start seeing some differences. We see this puff of feathers here. It's not stuffed like on the plush, so it's just a dual layer felt here. The wings are also flatter. This is also expected because it's a lot smaller, so this is how it's going to be. And this feather on its left side is going to be attached to the hip. We have the tail in the back. It's harder to see, but you see that there are distinctly 3 feathers here, so that detail is still the same. And then we have the legs, which are still the same here, just as in the plush. And then for the key ring, it is blue. And we have the tags right here. And then here is the toe tag. Now, this one, just like the plush, it fails the standing test. It needs help from the tag to stand up, which I got it. Hopefully it can stay like that. But anyways, that was Quaxly. Let's go ahead and bring everyone back together. Well, these were the Pokemon Center Paldean Starter Poké Plushes. And don't forget the plush keychains! Now, which of these plushes were your favorites? And which starter is your favorite right now? Let me know in the comments section below. Right now, I'm a Fuecoco guy. The idea of a fire-type Spinosaurus is awesome to me, and Fuecoco likes to eat. I too like to eat. This is really hard because I can see myself using both Spriggatito and Quaxly as well. I'll have to see which one's my favorite a lot closer to the game's release. We'll talk then. Anyways, if you're interested in adding these plushes to your collection, I'll be putting the links to Pokemon Center in the description. At the time of filming, the Poké Plushes were going for $15.99, while the keychains were going for $10.99. Unfortunately, they're all out of stock at the moment, but hopefully they will be back very soon because I imagine these guys will be very, very popular. So hopefully they'll be back soon. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, rate, subscribe, and don't stop playing.